Hello class. In this video, you will learn how to use both the nuclear magnetic resonance and IR machine to load and scan your organic compounds. As with all lab experiment, safety is our first concern. You'll need to wear appropriate lab attire for every experiment. This includes goggles, closed-toe shoes, long pants, a lab coat, and gloves. Note that the student is not properly dressed. He's a danger to himself and his classmates. This model student, however, is properly dressed and ready to go. Loading a sample into the NMR machine. Before loading, use a depth gauge, and then use a chem wipe to clean your test tube. This will ensure an accurate reading of your sample. Once completed, hold the eject button and then slowly insert your sample. Once inserted, release the eject button. Before continuing, use a flashlight to check and make sure your test tube is spinning properly. If your test tube has been loaded properly, it will look like this. However, if the test tube is not spinning or spinning unevenly, you'll need to reload the test tube. Now you're ready to scan your sample. This portion is broken down into two parts. In the first part, you'll scan your sample using the AIIP NMR program. Second, you'll use the NUTS program to process the data. First, locate the program on the desktop. You'll likely be working with C13 NMR in the first part of the experiment and an H1 NMR in a later lab. Now in the upper left corner, click on Nucleus and select either C13 or H1 depending on the type of scan you need. The prompt on the lower left screen should now say either C13 or H1 depending on your selection. Next, click on C13 Acquisition and select ZG Basic 1D C13 Data Acquisition. Later on, for a depth scan, you'll repeat the same process. However, you'll need to instead select depth 45, 90, 135 located under the same menu. Now you'll want to give your file a name and save it on a desktop. Scanning will begin and will take a few minutes to complete. Once the scanning is complete, a menu will pop up asking if you want to automatically process the data. Select yes. Open the NUTS program. Press Ctrl and F3. Locate your file on a desktop and select Open. A prompt will appear asking you to enter the value for line broadening. You can simply click OK or enter 0.5 and click OK. Your scan will now appear on the screen. In a later lab, when you're performing an H1 scan, the steps are repeated from part 1. However, this time when you open the NUTS program, you'll need to press Ctrl F2. Again, locate your file on a desktop and select. You'll be shown this menu. Under Comment, type in your sample number, and under User, type in your name and click OK. Print your scan by selecting Print under the File menu in the upper left corner. If you are unable to print in a lab, you can save your data into a flash drive and print it at a later time.